Hi friends, today we are going to see the cluster configuration using VRRP protocol. In our previous video, we have seen the high-availability of cluster configuration using Cluster XL protocol. You see, remember this is the whole dashboard which we are using. We have R81 cluster with Cluster XL protocol, and we have management server R81.1. On the same dashboard, we are going to integrate two firewalls which is running on R80 version. I have already onboarded one firewall. Let's start with the addition of secondary firewall. Then we will create a cluster object, and then we will enable using using VRP protocol. Let's start. First of all, we need to go click here, gateway, click on wizard mode, give the name as, let me give the name as TGB on R80 on FWB, and the gateway platform will be open server. Just quickly go and give the IP 10.0.0.20. Let's check the IP. We verify the IP first. This is my secondary firewall. You can see TGB R80 FWB, which is I'm going to onboard here. So let's see and check the IP first. So interfaces, we have three interfaces. So interface ETH0. This is having IP 10.0.0.20. So let's quickly jump to the PC, Smart Console 20. Click on next. It will ask you for this one-time password, that is SIG password. Give the SIG password which you have given at the time of one time or first time wizard. Click on next. You can see it's already fetched the topology interface detail, ETH0, ETH1. It seems ETH2 is not up. We will make it up soon. As of now, leave it and click on close and then finish. Now you can see this is the general properties of the firewall B, which is running on R80. Our management server is on R80.1. You can see, go to the network management tab here and just to verify the topology. You can see to interface ETH0, ETH1. Let them make ETH0 as internal interface. You can see as this network, and ETH1 as an external interface. Modify, overwrite this network defined by interface and netmask. Click on OK. OK. Now go to the ETH1, make it as external interface. Modify, internet. You can see here internet and click on OK. And then OK. Then one more time you need to click on OK. You can see firewall B is added here. It will take I guess 1 or 2 minutes again just to establish the proper communication. As of now, you can see this says status unknown, but it will take within 1 or 2 minutes. You can see this status update here. This time let's publish these changes. Just give the description firewall and then publish. So we have published the session. Let's quickly jump to the firewall B and see the status of this third interface, that is ETH2. Says it is not configured. So we need to do the configuration for ETH2 as well. Reason for that, to make or to put in a cluster or make in a cluster or node, the configuration should similar as the another box. So if you go to that box, which is Firewall A, and double click on that, you will see there are three interfaces configured. You can see that this is the Firewall A. General properties, go to network management, and then if you will see we have three interfaces here configured. See, ETH0, ETH1 and ETH2. But in the case of FWB, we need to configure ETH2, so we can log into the firewall via WebGUI and do the configuration. Now you can see parallelly in the background, the Firewall B is also showing as green, means status is good. Just quickly jump to the browser and do the configuration of the ETH2 so that we can move further for this cluster configuration using using VRRP protocol. VRP basically used by Nokia boxes. That's why I'm saying Nokia always. So just ignore that. But we are going to use this as a VRP protocol. I'm just going to log in via browser on the secondary firewall. Give username and password. Here, logged in. Just click here. Take the access. Now go to the network interfaces. You can see ETH02 is down. Just go and click on edit. Click on enable here, and if you want, you can put comment. We have done the similar exercise in our previous video. Give the IP as 255.255.255.0 and then click on OK. Let's do this. Put the comment for ETH1 as well as ETH0 just for the reference purpose. ETH1 is our external and ETH0 is our internal network. ETH0, select that. ETH0 is giving warning message because we have the access using same interface. So it internal, that's it. Okay, and now we just jump to the dashboard and again refresh or fetch the topology detail. So let's minimize this first. Now just open that Firewall B, click on edit. Sorry, I clicked on Firewall A. May close this and open the Firewall B. Click on Firewall B, edit. Go to network management. You can see as of now only two interface. Just click on get interface with topology. Will fetch again. Yes. Now you can see we have all the three interfaces here. Accept. Make this ETH2 as this network. It's already there. Nothing to do. Now go ahead and click on OK. Now just click on this just to add as a cluster. Cluster. Click on the cluster. Select wizard mode. Give cluster name. I will put as TGB-R80-cluster. IP I will give as 10.0.0.11. Here I am going to use Gaia VRRP. In our R80.1 cluster, we have selected Cluster XL, checkpoint Cluster XL. Now I am going to use Gaia VRRP. Click on next. Just select the existing gateways, add existing gateway, and then see this cluster member, it will show here. So it's not showing here. Reason, we have not enabled this VRP protocol in this firewall. So let's jump to the firewall, enable the cluster mode, then we will do this configuration further. Let's jump to that firewall. I'm already here. You can see here's the high availability VRRP. You need to go and click on add virtual routers. Give virtual router ID as 10. You can put 10, any number you can put. Priority you can add here. Interval, leave it by default. Everything leave it by default. Click on add. Now here you need to give the address for your interfaces. So first of all, give one IP as 10.00.11, and then if you see this VRRP, VMAC mode is VRRP or interface, it's up to you, but use as VRRP and click on OK. So if you see, as soon as you given 10.00.11 VRRP, by default it is taken as ETS0 interface. Now again go and add the second interface, which is having 192.168.62. And you can, let's see what VRRP address we need to give. Let's open our topology. This is our VIP 130, interface 110, 120 and 130. So we will give 130 as a backup address. 130. Click here, 130 and OK. That's it. I just want only add two interfaces, 11 and 130. Click on save. Similar way, we need to go and log into the primary firewall. As of now, it's not primary secondary, but we need to log into the first firewall, which is having 10.00.10 IP, and then we will do the configuration there also. Give the username and password. Login. This is, we are on R80 firewall A. Just go to the VRRP, scroll it, right side you will see high availability VRRP. Here click on that and click on add. Create a virtual router. The router ID need to be similar with the secondary firewall so that it will assume that this firewall is part of this virtual group. You can say it is 10 here, to make it a 10, and then priority need to be different. In our earlier case it was 100, let's make it 110, and the rest will default. Click on add and go and add the backup address. Backup address, we have given two backup address, so it's 10.00.10. It is 10. Let's we verify that whether it is 10 or what. It is 11. Sorry. So make it as 11. Here also, this is nothing but a VIP address, and then again for the secondary, you can see here also it is taken as ETS0, and click on set one more interface. Give the IP address 192.168.2.130 and click on OK. So this is two interface, ETH0 and ETH1. Now we need to click on save, but before that just go to jump to the firewall B and check the status of firewall B. FWB, it says it is backup. By default it is taken as a backup with 100 priority, 10 delta, 1 interval. Now go to this firewall A and click on save. Here we have added, you can see both is added. Currently both are on master because they need to sync with each other. Just go and quickly enable this clustering on the firewall. CLI mode, AP config, enable cluster membership for this gateway, number 6, enter, yes, and it will reboot. So let's reboot the firewall. Okay, it says you will see this message several times. So because you are already logged in or taken the access, admin access, of this firewall via GUI. So to override that, just run a command log database override and then do a reboot. Yes, it will reboot this FWA. The similar thing you need to go and do in FWB firewall. Run log database override and then reboot. Let's both the firewall came up, and then we will see this VRP status on both the nodes. Both the firewall is up now and rebooted successfully. Let's check this status, but it's still showing as master 10.00.10. Let's check and go to this second firewall. What is the status? It's 20. It is also showing as master. So both the node is showing itself as a master. So both the node, as said, is showing as a master. So it seems there is a communication issue between these two firewalls and they are not communicating with each other. So we'll just quickly jump and put one rule just to allow intercommunication with each other and see if that helps. Then click here, make it as any. Change to any, and then any. We will put protocol as, let's see if we have anything like VRRP. VRRP. You can see we have one protocol with VRRP. Just select that and take action as accept. Also go and check the logging, enable the logging. Also we are going to enable the logging for this cleanup rule so that we can see if anything is getting dropped because of this cleanup rule. And then we will do a firewall policy push. Publish, and then this rule will applicable for all the firewalls because we are using a standard policy, and I said earlier a standard policy is by default applicable to all the gateways which is there in the dashboard, but you can customize this, but as of now we are using as a default. Just go and click on install policy, select the standard policy because we are using a standard, and then publish the session or install the policy. See, this is going to install on cluster as well as both the nodes individually. Just go and click on install. Installation is going on. Just wait this to finish. It says succeeded. Now let's go and check the status of the firewall quickly. So I'm going to take this. You can see I'm not able to take this gateway via browser. I guess you all know the reason. Just refresh this page because we have now pushed the policy on the firewall, and by default it will block all the traffic. So we need to allow HTTPS access like we did for our R81.1 cluster here. But in similar way, we can check the VRP status by logging to the firewall or taking the console of the firewall. But still, the good option is just go and click here and add the rule. So just make sure you can you will add the rule before you do this any policy push on any of the firewall. Just add the cluster. This is TGB-R80. You can see both node is there. So I will add both the node first, and then we will push the policy again, and then we will try to take the access of the firewall and see the VRP status of both the nodes. Added, and then go and publish. I'm not putting any description as of now. Just go and quickly do the publish. Now install policy. You need to select a standard policy and then just do policy installation on both the nodes. This is not the recommended way because we have added 2 gateway, but we are doing policy installation on cluster also. This is not required, but we are using as a default policy. So go ahead with and do the installation. Policy installation done. Now try to take the GUI access. You can see I am already in. Just give the password and similarly log into this secondary firewall. You can say node B. Do a refresh. Give username for this as well and then password. Logging. Now I am in on this firewall A. Let's go quickly and check this VRRP status, what it says, whether it is master, backup. So okay, click on this VRRP. So it says as backup. You can see backup. Now go and jump to secondary firewall. See the status there. Scroll down, go to VRRP and then check the status there. VRRP. See, so this is master. My 20 is my master, and if you go to quickly, firewall A is my backup. Why it's backup? Because the priority, if you see, it is 1110, and in the master one, go and check the priority, it is 200. So just quickly change this priority. I just want make this firewall A as a master and firewall B as a active. So click here, take the access and then change the priority. This is also the way to do the failover in case of VRP protocol. We will discuss in detail later, but as of now, just go and make this priority as 100. So lowering down the priority, see, and then after that, you just refresh this page. Refresh. Now you can see this is now backup. This is backup, and now quickly jump to the firewall A and check. Do the refresh. Check it is master. So now we have successfully enabled the VRP clustering with the help of VRP protocol. How it is different from this Cluster XL? In the case of Cluster XL, there is no need of adding any VRP protocol rule. But in the case of Cluster XL, you just go and simply enable the cluster config by cpconfig command. The same thing need to done here, but apart from that, the extra thing what we did, we enabled a communication for especially for this VRP protocol. And after that, we went to this port GUI mode. We enable this VRP. We have configured virtual router. So virtual router, the VRID should be same on both the nodes. Priority should be different. Based on this priority, it will decide whether it is master or whether it is standby. Priority delta routes should remain same. Hello interval should remain same on both the nodes. By this way, we achieve the VRP configuration. Now quickly go and jump to the dashboard. Again, you go and create cluster object, cluster, and go here, cluster. Click on wizard mode. If the firewall name, object name, cluster object name, R80-cluster. Let me give IP 10.0.0.11. Select the protocol here, VRRP, and then click on next. Just go and click now. Seems some issue with the wizard mode. Go and click on cluster, and then here we will choose the classic mode because we need to change the gateway version manually before creating the cluster. Here you can see we are using the management server upgraded version, and Firewall is on the different version, so we will go with the classic. Give here cluster name, so let's give this as a TGB-R80-cluster. IP I am going to give at 10.0.0.11. Here change the version of RT.10. Now go to the cluster member here, just click on add and then add existing gateway and select this existing 2 nodes. Okay, and again in similar way we will add that cluster B. It says the following still setting will still remain same. This is a similar message, nothing to do, just click on yes and go ahead. Yes, and add Firewall cluster B parallelly here. Click on add existing gateway, and the background you can see that the Firewall A is not showing. Now it's inside this new object with the name of new object, and once I will select this will also move from here to inside this. Just select this, click on OK, and then yes. Then again we can click on yes. That's it. We have added both the gateways inside that cluster member. You can see in the background the secondary node also went inside this new object. Just click on OK. Generating key, signature key. This is now asking platform administrator URL, web URL 10.0.0.1. We will leave it yes by default. Nothing but browser access. So now you can see we have RT cluster, we have RT1 clusters, and RT cluster is using VRRP and RT1 cluster is using Cluster XL. If you want to go and see the difference, just quickly jump to that first RT.1 firewall and log in, and we will verify each and every access. Admin. If I here run cpha pro state, it will give some output because we are using Cluster XL. It says active and standby. This node is active, which is local, and second node is standby. The similar command, if you run and go on the firewall or on the cluster which is using Nokia VRP, you will not see this output. Don't get confused, just go and jump there and see that output here. We go cpha prob state, you will see HA module not started. It doesn't means the clustering is not enabled, but that is especially for that command, especially for the Cluster XL. That is the first difference. Now if you want to see which one is active here, so you need to run the command. So VRRP, so it will say in master state 2. If you run the similar command on the secondary firewall, it should be in backup state 2. So let's quickly jump there and see. Okay. Log database overwrite and then clear. Now run. So VRRP. Here you can see on the secondary firewall it says backup state 2. At the same time on RTFWA it is master. Now on the Cluster XL, if you go and see, this is the active firewall, which is FWA. If you run the same command on firewall B, the RT1 firewall B, you will see that as backup or standby state. Just log in and quickly run that command. So I have given wrong admin password. cpha state. See, this is standby. So this is the difference between Cluster XL configuration and VRP configuration. The commands is different for both the cluster way. Here it is says 100% 0 active standby. In the case of VRP, says master backup. This is all about configuring and adding cluster using VRRP protocol. So just to recall how we can add VRP, first of all, we need to get those firewall onboarded on the dashboard like we did for firewall A and B. First of all, we have added two firewalls, A and B. Then we have enabled the VRP after logging via GUI. We have set the router ID, we have set the priority, everything we set, interface VIP, and then we enable the cluster services by using CPHA probe, CP config command. After that, we have added here one command just to allow intercommunication between firewalls for this VRRP protocol. So that if any firewall is trying to check if any other firewall is using same VRRID and they want to be part of a cluster, just we have allowed this protocol. This is, you need to take care of this part, otherwise you are not able to add any firewall under VRRP protocol. And then we have added or created a cluster object using wizard, using classic mode, not the wizard mode. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day.